Sometimes it's hard to find a reason why, when everything is falling and all that's left to do is try your best to keep holding on to the next sunrise. But you're stronger than you know. You'll never be alone when everything feels dark around. Just look inside where light is found. Sometimes a mountain means it's time to climb higher than you've been before. So hold on tight and close your eyes. You'll make it faster than you know. Closer to the sunrise. 'Cause you're stronger than you know. You'll never be alone when everything feels dark around. Just look inside where light is found. Where the light is found. Where the light is found. Where the light is found. Just look inside where light is found. You're stronger than you know. You'll never be alone when everything feels dark around. Just look inside where light is found. You're stronger than you know. You'll never be alone when everything feels dark around. Just look inside where light is found.
Well, I didn't unmute my mic, but it looks like it did it on its own. You know, this social media platform is it's an amazing platform. As much as we've had trouble like figuring out how to get guests on, I think it's more the user error than the platform itself, because every time I log on, let me take these off. Every time I log on to do the show, they've got brand new updates and tweaks they've done. There's so many cool things I could do. I just ain't got time right now. I cannot wait till I've got free time on my hands and I can really delve into creating this show and having all these cool little bells and whistles. They even added sound effects not very long ago, so I'll be able to do sound effects. Hang on, I don't have... Okay, seriously, it's B, not James. What's going on, B? Oh, so you're on the YouTube side of things. I love it. Okay, well, we will remember that it's B over there. David's in the house. Well, Dave's actually in the house. He's helping me. We were hoping to set up another little technology addition here to help me look even more polished, but we decided at 7:29 we ain't got time for that. So we're going to table that idea for another day. Although I do have my nifty camera set up. So I'm excited about that. And we have a guest coming on. So I'm very excited about that. She'll be coming on at around 8 o'clock. Oh, okay. The technology is popping up again. Maybe it works now. You must have signed in with James's phone. You must have. Anyway, cool beans. Welcome, everybody. My name is Claudette Huber, and I am the host of Happy Thoughts with Claudette, where every Wednesday we just have a show about uplifting conversation, things that are going on in the community and outside of, or like on a bigger global community as well. I try to steer away from politics. I want to keep this just elevated and just making this a fun playground for all of us souls to just feel enlightened and happy, and as though we got another oomph in us for another week going ahead. I always say, let's use these Wednesdays as like our pick-me-up, our little shot of joy and happy and friendship and strength to go on for another week. So I'm getting a little, oh, there's Blake. Blake's just popped into the house. Hi there. How are you tonight? I'm doing very, very well, Blake. We had to laugh because my supplier that was at the Crossroads Expo, the one with all of the beautiful rocks and gems and minerals from Vancouver, I have secured myself some bling bling that I think Blake will be very interested in seeing. Although he'll probably be like, Claudette, why are you doing this to me? But Blake, it's like right up there with that other ring that you bought. Yeah, you're going to be going like, you're going to be wanting to show that ring off. You will not be able to ignore it when you see it. It's going to be, I can already feel it. You're going to be like, Claudette, it's calling me. Oh, some beautiful rings. Yeah, I don't know how we got lucky that way, but Blake, we got, I think 2 rings, David, or did we get 3 men's rings? No, I think we got 2 because the price point. Yeah, this would be a very special Christmas gift for you, Blake. Show the hair. I know. Show the hair. I was going like this because I was going to go. Blake will know what that means. I'm never going to forget that you did that. That was so much fun. I had so much fun at that little dinner we did. And I'm really looking forward to October 18th. There won't be a show on the 18th because it falls on a Wednesday. Show comments, my husband just said. See, he won't even say anything. He's like this silent mute guy in here. I thought you guys could watch me light my incense. This is one of my absolute favorites. And I don't know if you can read that right or like on the camera. How's the mirrored effect? Is that correct, David? Yes, okay. Yeah, Darshan is what I call it. Darshan, there's a lovely lady there overlooking the villa and just a beautiful smile on her face. This, they sell it in small sizes and large sizes. It's one of my go-tos since the very beginning. I absolutely love it. And so I'm just going to light some incense because I have a nice little holder over here. Actually, let me turn on my other camera. I can share. So I'm just going to take it out of my peekaboo spot and put it right here. And let's get this lit. I always like using wooden, I wanted to say wooden candles, wooden matches, lighters. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, there's just something very more natural and earthy. And it's something that, like, if you were really into the Wiccan or the more like earthy magics, they really talk about using wooden candles. God, what is it about candles tonight? Wooden matches. So for me, it feels more natural than using a lighter. I do use lighters in certain instances. Like I've got one where it's like well, I think you've seen it where I lit a charcoal, that one show. So anyway, here, let's get this in here. I just love that we have these 2 cameras, guys. You guys get to see more. And then I'm just going to tuck it behind here because, well, I guess. What? Should we put it over? Where did we put it? But that covers the artwork. So, maybe by that. There. You know this says happy place. Happy place. Have to have that there. The happy place. I got my rubber duckies from Blake. They're sitting right there. My heart. So yeah, it's becoming a little collection here. I was actually thinking I might need some shelvings or something. It is wonderful to see you, Bee. Just got rid of that little match because I don't want that in my way. I feel like we're really going to connect this week. I'm just feeling really heart-centered, and I'm excited. Ooh, I just got a notification. My guest is sitting in the blue room. She's quietly sitting there. But yeah, I'm feeling really... Yeah, there's things I want to talk to everybody about, and about worthiness. I really feel like this, really, my heart tugged, and I wanted to share it with you because if it's a good message for one, it's probably a good message for many of you. And if you are struggling with worthiness this week, or in the past, lately, recently, I want to encourage you to let it go. And I'm going to say it in a different way. I'm listening to this book by Mel Robbins. I did the thing that I have been pushing away and saying I'll never do. I became a member of audiobooks today. That happened today, audiobooks. So I got to start listening to a book today, and it's called Let Them, and OMG. And by the way, I'll make sure, I got to put that in my notes here, Let Them. I'll make sure to add a link there if you want to go find that book, Mel Robbins. And it's narrated by her on the audiobook, which I love. So in between customers, I've been listening to this book, and it is like she's talking to me, directly to me, because this is exactly what I need to hear. I had no idea. I just thought, this looks like a good first book to kick off with, and it's been incredible. And it really helped like seal in already what I've been feeling. And she's helping with the process of picking up the pieces when you've been hurt by friends or a spouse, or you get easily triggered and outside influences seem to like rattle you, and you seem to get like upset quick, or things irritate you. Like she was giving examples, and they were all examples I could relate to. Oh my God. Like I thought, is this common? Because I've thought it's just kind of my own personal struggle. Like there'll be silly things. Like if things are, I'm in an area where it's really fast paced, and people maybe are like walking quickly. There's queues to get in line. Well, I'm very much like, get on the program. We need to keep up speed with everybody else and get in that queue. And if someone is lollygagging or walking slower, that just gets me. That just totally gets my blood boiling. Like I get frustrated. But I've realized these are all our ways of wanting to control a situation. I know that, but I'm seeing it on a much bigger picture now. I think me leaving the store, as sad as this will be, I've got a lot of growing to do, and I'm ready for it. I'm pretty sure that that's why I'm starting to get introduced to all these different concepts, is that Claudette is ready to take it to the next level. And I'm just really wanting to talk about worthiness. And so today, when I was listening to that book, she keeps using it's called Let Them, but she uses that term, let them. Let them. Let them be slow. Let them. And it's not about, I mean, right away when you hear that term, you're going to think, oh, yeah, okay, that's great. And it feels great. You know, like when you think about a hurtful situation, or you're thinking about something that your child is doing, and you're like, oh, no, I want to totally, like, I'm going to make sure that he doesn't do that, because you know, she gives this example, very cool, where her son said, no, Mom, we don't need a boutonniere for my escort at this prom. And this is so what I would do. So she secretly thought, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He does need that boutonniere for his girlfriend, his escort, like corsage, sorry. And so anyway, she, in private, goes through this elaborate process of ordering the most beautiful corsage And she's very proud of herself, sourced it out, went and picked it up. And so it's been sitting in queue. And then when the son is getting ready, and they're about to walk out the door, she's like, and I can't exactly remember all the order, but it was very evident. She reminded him, she says, I've got a corsage if you want it for your date. And he again had said, no, she doesn't want one, Mom. I am so typical for something like this. You hear it, but you're just dogged with this idea that you know better and you need to control this situation. You're not thinking you need to control the situation, but that is exactly what you're doing instead of just letting your child be. This isn't like a die on the hill kind of moment. And I think that's something I really need to learn is this a die on the hill kind of moment, or can I let this be and just watch it unfold? So the beautiful thing is they end up getting to where everybody's all together and his escort is there, and the escort goes up to her son and asks for help, and they get this boutonniere thing up in his lapel of his suit and looks very handsome. Well, Mom is all like tripping inside thinking, I knew it. I knew he needed that corsage. So she couldn't help herself, and she says this, I could not help myself. I pull out this corsage like I'm saving the world, and I knew my son was wrong. And you could just see her son's face just shifted dramatically, and her daughter was just like, Mom, and I'm embarrassedly, I will admit, my heart is always in the best place. It really is. But I have had moments like that where my kids have looked at me and be like, Mom, and I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed that I didn't have the insight to let my children they have reasons, right? Just let them be. So anyhow, guess what? And she said she wished she could have crawled in a hole. This lovely lady, this young date of her son's, had proudly made her own. She's very artistic, and she had built this beautiful one for herself. And she was excited to wear it and excited to show the world her beautiful, corsage. And what did it do? It created a situation where everybody kind of just shut up. I'm sure people close to the mom were uncomfortable and here we go again, another fucking awkward moment because Mom can't keep her hands or her thoughts or her opinions out of it, right? And luckily the young lady was kind enough that she ended up wearing a corsage on both arms. But what really hit her was the second incident in that whole event. And what happened afterwards was all the parents are together. They're at their house. Their gala hasn't started yet, but everybody. It started to rain, and they were going to eat outside and have this whole event. So of course now it's raining, and everyone is like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And her boy, and this is very typical to my son too. He was just like, whatever, I think we're going to go over to, the Mexican restaurant. I can't remember what they called it. And of course, all the parents are like, what are you talking about? There are 20 of you. You can't just walk into a restaurant, 20 of you, and expect to be all seated. This is what an adulting kind of mind concept. And you would interject in that situation. And she said she wasn't the only parent that was already on their phone trying to figure out what place is going to take 20 people, instead of just letting the kids do it. Instead of letting the kids walk out in the rain, Mom was already trying to figure out how to get them there so that they didn't get wet. And her daughter, and I'm just so grateful that for her daughter and for the author, Mel, that she had the insight in that moment and the open-heartedness enough that she heard her daughter when her daughter said, let them. So I'm only on chapter 3. And this is already profoundly impacting me. I'm going to be talking about this book, I'm sure, until at the end, until I get down to the end. But I absolutely love this. And so her daughter said, let them. And she said it in a way that it just clicked for Mom. And she let them. And she saw her son in his beautiful suit, his shoes getting ruined, laughing, light as a bird. He's having the time of his life. And his escort in her beautiful gown, it's getting all muddied. They're running out into the street and headed over to the local taco place. But think about it. They're making fantastic memories. That's the thing. We want to micromanage everything. We think we know best when sometimes the magic can grow in those moments where we let them. So I just wanted to implant this concept with you. I'll be fleshing it out more as I learn more, because that isn't the end of it. It does sound like that's pretty earth-shattering. Let them. I get that. But she's very clear about saying that that's only part of the journey. By letting them, anytime that you're in an uncomfortable situation, you say, let them, it does feel freeing. And the more you say it, the more freeing it becomes. But that's only step one, because there is a sense of superiority, isn't there? Like, let's be real. If you're in an uncomfortable situation with someone and they've hurt you, and you're going around saying, well, let them. Do you know what I mean? So there is another component, and she's just touched a little bit, and it says, let me. And we'll talk about that some more, but I'm just so impassioned about that. And I don't want any of you to feel less than in your worthiness. As I say so many times in the therapy room, your soul weighs the same on that scale of worthiness. My soul on that scale, your soul on that scale. Your worthiness is not dependent on how many certificates you have on the wall, or how many mistakes you averted. Perfection isn't what we're going for here. So I want to encourage you and say, you are worthy. You are loved. You are loved beyond any comprehension that you could possibly have. Think about the greatest love possible, and then probably multiply it. Like, I think Creator, whomever, whatever that looks like, is so beyond our comprehension that it isn't a love that has conditions. And almost any type of love I've ever encountered, and I'm sure you've ever encountered, there are conditions to that love. Okay, so that is it. There's more, but I think I better stop because we're at 7:55. We're nearly time for Rebecca. Oh, did I mention? Yes, Starbound Wellness. Rebecca Yepchek is coming on very soon here. I'm just going to make sure we didn't talk about what our show is called. So every week, for anyone that's new and watching, we've been blessed, and here I do it every time, don't I? Every time, because I don't have my good buddy, Christopher, sitting in here. ANGI SULLINS. I need to get her website up. And into here, give me 1 sec, because I need to put that in the chat. Command C. And get into StreamYard. Go back into the comments. Command V. B says, I listened to the audiobook also of Let Them. Oh, well, what did you think, B? I love it. I love it. Okay, so we are putting in the link for ANGI SULLINS. And what I'm getting at is, you can see it here in the other screen. This is the Dream Song Oracle. And we pull a card every Wednesday to determine the title of our show. And Angie Sullins has been kind enough to say, yes, you can do that. I just ask that you put a link in the show notes, to give us credit and let people know where you can get the deck from. As you know as well, and for anyone who might be wondering, if you go onto the YouTube platform, anything I discuss, any books, any titles, shows, you can find all that information in the show notes on YouTube. It'll be down in the comments in the about, and after the show, before I go home, I will put all of that information in there so you can go and click, and like you're going to be able to find Rebecca after this show, I'm going to have things there to find her as well. So let's see what title we have for our show today. Have Tea with the Birds. I love this. It is so cute. Now, I better not. I feel like I get in trouble when I start playing with the screens, but what if I pick it up and bring it up closer? Oh, look at that. That is gorgeous. Now, what was coming to me is a lot. For me, symbolically, when I see birds, I'm thinking about chit-chats. I'm thinking about gossiping. I'm thinking about socializing. But I see that she is as well a bird. She's disguised herself as a bird in order to have this conversation and have tea with the other bird. And do you notice that the bird is bringing her a message? So, oddly, I doubt very much that this card will mean this when we go into the meaning, but for me, I totally felt like this was like almost being undercover in order for you to gain new information. Be as everyone else and assimilate for a while so that you can garner the information that you need. So for me, that's the theme I'm going to take from this card for the next week. I think I need to camouflage a little bit and not be so loud and boisterous and do a lot of listening because I want people to spill the tea. Now, let's grab the box and I'm going to take out the book, the beautiful book and the beautiful box. And let's find out what Angie Sullins has to say, the poet, in this deck about this card. So this is number 40. Well, interesting. It's show 30, but this is card number 40. Have tea with the birds. Okay, I'm going to start reading. This moment calls for imagination. Think of your imagination as a bird with an important letter for you. Invite it in for tea and cupcakes. Don't waste time arguing for your limitations. That's interesting. Don't waste time arguing for your limitations. Instead, ask, what is the best that could possibly happen? OMG. I am definitely getting that. I pulled a card that's talking about let the child in you come out and let the impossible become possible. So for me, I think I can become very like, well, that's not possible. And I need to get back to that childlike state where anything is possible. You've been trained to anticipate failure. Your mind will continually return to find what's wrong or lacking in any given situation. Only you can tell it to pipe down so you can hear the sweet chirping encouragement of imagination. So let them, right? Let them. We need to fill our thoughts with wonderful thoughts. And when we have something that wants to like take a jab at our inner happiness, just say the words, let them, and put your mind to the tasks at hand that you are working on. Focus on your future. That's what I say. Even though it can feel risky and even counterintuitive to indulge in possibilities, we wouldn't have remarkable breakthroughs like airplane travel and penicillin without asking what if and why not. Invite imagination to keep your company. Wow, I like that. Invite imagination to keep you company as you consider what might happen if you turned your magic all the way on. I love it. Let's turn our magic all the way on. Let's be so fucking busy spreading magic and sparkles everywhere. We don't got time for anything else. There's no room for anything else, right? Living a glorious life. Okay. Well, I think it's time. Oh, my screen timed out, so it's not working. All right. I am going to invite Rebecca from Starbound Wellness. Now, I'm going to remove this screen for the card. And I'm going to add, ta-da! Hello!
Hello, everyone!
I just discovered I need my headphones on. Hang on.
Hey, Claudette!
Hello, I can hear you. Yay!
Hooray! Thanks for inviting me and having me on the show today.
Well, thank you for accepting our invitation. I know we're pretty small beans, but I really want to, promote people that are local and give anyone listening opportunities to find different ways to progress, and to live a better life and a more fruitful life. So you are part of that solution. So
thank you. Thank you so much.
Now,
I'm excited to be here. I feel like this is a great opportunity to share some exciting things coming down the pipeline.
Well, I want to read on your website with your permission, because I thought that was a really nice way to describe who you are. And then I've got a few questions, and then we're going to just jump into some stuff. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I just do want to put a little disclaimer. So there's an asterisk here that I'm kind of in a transition period. And so the website is current. I'm not taking any psychotherapy clients at this particular moment, but I'm evolving in a good way. So all of that stuff that's on there is accurate as far as my description and who I am, what my capabilities are and stuff like that. But I'm just not taking any psychotherapy clients right at this moment.
Okay. Well, that was one of my questions, and now you took it away from me.
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding. But it was. Okay, so Starbound Wellness, so that's the name of your company, is an individual private practice committed to providing comprehensive support through a variety of offerings. These include therapeutic sessions for individuals, relationships, or family units. Other settings may include groups, workshops, classes, more. Sessions may be in person or virtual, so she does both of them when she's active. In addition to psychotherapeutic support services, Rebecca is a trained Reiki practitioner and skilled dream explorer. These services are incorporated as needed with psychotherapy appointments and available as standalone service. So dream, oh my gosh, I'm going to be asking you about that. I think I've heard of this before, and then, yeah, I feel like this was just a good way but I saw right here on your website, just as you said, at this time, I'm not accepting new therapy. So are you going in a completely different direction, or what's happening?
Not completely. I just feel like I've needed to take a step back to really assess and kind of allow for that liminal space to really be used well, to figure out what's kind of coming. And so I'm still offering Reiki sessions. I'm still offering dream work exploration. I've been doing a lot more card readings this year as well. So I offer oracle card readings. I don't do tarot for anyone but myself yet, because I'm still learning that language. But yeah, I'm just kind of taking that step back from psychotherapy at this time, and kind of looking at the business structure part. That's a big piece of it. So it's a lot of logistic things rather than the creative and magical part of it that's changing. So I kind of need to take that step back a little bit in order to give myself the space to really structure the business stuff that I've been avoiding. because right now I've just been kind of winging it and just going off vibes. And I hear that the CRA doesn't love that. So,
Well, I'm just curious because I think that was it at our expo where I feel like you came to me and you said something about like this was going to be your first public time for reading
yes.
oracle cards.
I did not plan to do that, actually. So in my expo prep, I was making art, making earrings, like doing all kinds of stuff. I really wanted to promote future events and stuff because I've really tried to lean into workshops and groups and stuff like that. Those are really where I've been like living this year. And something happened the night before the expo, and I saw my deck of oracle cards, one of my decks of oracle cards, and they were just like glowing almost to me. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll bring you tomorrow. And I brought them with me, and I offered readings, and I ended up doing about 14 or 15 that weekend.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was really cool. It was really exciting. The feedback I got was really awesome in the moment, and like reflecting on it afterwards, I realized that that's like a huge connection to spirit for me. So
Yeah, I love that you're being very fluid, and you know what? I think that we have to like be less apologetic about being in that fluid place, right? I think that's where all the magic happens. I mean, anyone can follow the rules and, oh, okay, this is my department, this is what I do. But I feel like if we allow spirit to give us ideas and we go with those ideas and we chase the next sparkle on there, whatever, you know, like, I think that's when you're living a really authentic life, because we are not capable, I believe, of even perceiving what our greatest opportunities are. So yeah. I feel like that's kind of where you're at, and I think I am too.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like this whole year is kind of, it's almost like a liminal space. Like that term keeps coming to me like a lot this summer and into fall. Really like leaning into those liminal spaces and not having to have everything figured out. You know, I feel like a lot of us, especially creatives, we have this vision and we have this desire. We know where we want to go, but we don't exactly know how the journey will be, and we don't even know how to start it. But taking that step back from that perception of expansion, that perception of moving forward, it really like allows us to decide, is this direction going to take me to that goal ultimately, or do I have to shift directions a little bit? You know, so kind of leaning into that back step in terms of like a dance rather than looking at it as like a sprint forward has been really helpful to me.
And it takes courage. It takes courage to evaluate when you do hit those junctions, you know, where something brand new is being revealed to you of opportunity, where you're like, whoa, wait, no, that's very foreign to my wheelhouse here. And so, yeah, that takes bravery. Gosh, I'm just whirling right now. I feel like for a lot of people, this is definitely how it's been. I think a lot of people, well, it's the year of the snake. I keep saying it like I'm a broken record, but I think a lot of us are shedding identities and becoming something new. We're morphing into these new, and I don't even want to say identity. I think identities is very confining, but we are definitely in a morphing phase. I just heard a nugget, and you touched on it, and I thought, oh my goodness, this would be so fitting for this conversation. And it happened last night, where it's about enjoying the journey there, right? When we're in the liminal, but it also, oh yes, this is what I wanted to say. So for anyone that says, well, you know, like I'm really trying to manifest or think about what that goal is, or at least what it kind of will feel like and look like. For some, like me, and it sounds like for Rebecca, we don't quite even know what it looks like. We maybe have an idea of what it's going to feel like we know what we want it to feel like? And that's where I'm getting at, because I heard this yesterday and I love it, because I've been tickling this idea internally already. I was like, how do I project or manifest what I don't even know what it looks like, but I know what it feels like?
Right.
So for me, and I don't know about you, but they were just suggesting manifest with that feeling.
Yeah. That makes so much sense, because realistically, we put our own constraints on everything.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting when you kind of remove those, like, where do they come from? You know, who says that it has to be X, Y, Z, you know, to get to where you're going? You know, there's so much possibility. And you kind of touched on that earlier when you mentioned, you know, looking at like flight and penicillin and stuff like that. Those were like impossible concepts before they actually happened. Like, there's no reason that an airplane should work, and yet it does. And now it's just so commonplace. So, you know, if we take that and scale that to our own beautiful lives, you know, we end up putting a lot of constraints on ourselves that I wonder what the possibilities are when we take those away and consider the possibility of what happens if they're not applying to it.
Amen. I think that we are limiting ourselves. You know, otherwise we're losing out on some great experiences and opportunities by trying to be in control of the situations. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to forget why I asked you to be here. We've been announcing the summit coming up. I think it's called Summit, right?
Yeah, the Wholehearted Wellness Summit.
Yes. Can you tell people about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So myself, and I believe there are 8 other individuals that are presenting. We have a meeting later this week to kind of go over the last like details and fine tooth comb everything. But there will be a few experiential things, like someone's going to be leading a yoga nidra experience and having a sound bowl experience as well. I'll be speaking about energy medicine, and I'll probably walk people through a brief exercise with that and kind of do like a body scan and see like where you're feeling that kind of energetic experience. So there is also, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just curious. Can you say, why would someone want, and I'm not saying this I'm just trying to say, like, who would be a good fit to attend this online summit?
Yes. Okay. So anybody who's feeling really like burnt out, that's like the main focus, is people who are feeling burnt out. They're looking for actionable steps to really take away from, seeing like where they can catch their breath in their daily life to maybe reduce that burnout a little bit. Obviously burnout is a systemic thing, but we're looking at what people can individually take accountability for in their own lives. So whether it's exploring energy work, exploring a new method of reflection, you know, I think there's a presentation on tarot. There's a presentation on design, actually. So looking at how your space is set up and curated to evoke certain feelings and everything like that. You know, maybe you've never tried yoga nidra before and you know, experience it and you find out you love it. I can remember the first time I ever listened to a yoga nidra meditation, and it actually like changed a lot for me. So it's just kind of offering people bite-sized portions of options that they can take with them and really try to live a more authentically beneficial life to them. You know, take care of your nervous system, take care of how you show up for yourself and everything like that.
You're like, I just keep reflecting on this book, and if there's anything that I'm always, if we could go to the core of things, is when we say living an authentic life, like, I mean authentic. Every moment of every day, you're thinking about why you're motivated to do the things that you're doing and really looking at them. Is this for me? Is this for someone else? Like, all of this stress and this burnout, so much of it, like, like she said in her book, and what I say to people is like, we gotta stop taking responsibilities for all of these other people's lives. You're responsible for your life. Of course, if you have dependents, yes, you're responsible for them, but to a certain point as well. So anyway, I know I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm like really feeling that because I think there's so much helicoptering. There's so much, like, we've lost sight of letting just the magic of moments be and transpire just the way they will unfold naturally without you getting in there and getting yourself all exhausted and upset over something that really you're doing damage. You're doing damage to your nervous system. You're doing damage to your relationship, to whomever is going to be affected by you interjecting and controlling that situation. And I think these are great. I feel like this is like a epidemic of people that are not coping well because they've started taking on way too much that doesn't belong to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's absolutely part of it. You know, we live in a society that expects so much out of every individual. And so we're always thinking, you know, what's happening next week, what's happening next month, what's happening next year, like just looking at building those projects over time, and we're putting more on our plates before we clear away what's there. And so this is kind of a moment to pause and assess, because the more you do that, the less you're in tune with what you really need. And so if you're constantly busy and living almost ahead of your own schedule, you know, you have so much energy placed in the future and like all these things that you have planned for yourself that you don't really get to assess, how is this making me feel? Is this authentic to me? Because you're just on autopilot doing the things. And so this is kind of an opportunity for people to learn certain pieces that might click, you know, just the way that, you know, Mel Robbins' daughter said, let them. And everything. And like, I'm glad that that's resonating, because it's interesting to me. I haven't read that book, and this is kind of a tangent too, but it comes back.
No, I love tangents.
I haven't read the book. However, I've seen that poem before, and it turns out that it was originally authored by a poet named Cassie Phillips in 2019, I think, is the Let Them poem. So it's interesting that it kind of comes around and ends up in, you know, sparking this whole book that Mel Robbins had wrote. And there has been a little bit of controversy around that, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I did not know.
It's interesting.
Share. What is it?
Yeah. So I think Mel Robbins is kind of like credited to Let Them, but didn't acknowledge the fact that Cassie had wrote this poem.
Yeah, I haven't heard about it, and I'm on chapter 3.
Yeah.
She did make mention in the audio, like I don't think it was part of the writing in her book, but she said thank you to all the tattoo artists and artists that have done all kinds of beautiful artwork. But no, she's not mentioned that. Wow, that's sad. That kind of taints it. Why is it that I could go on a tangent right now, Rebecca, because I'm so tired with people that aren't being real. Like they're doing things that are compromising to the very belief and the very, like, we're trying to build people up. And how can you build somebody up if you're not being accountable? Like you're not being truthful and holding yourself to the highest bar. I understand we're human beings, but to me, that's a big slip.
Yeah.
That's a big slip right there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, the point that I was trying to make was that, you know, it was out in the world for a few years, and those two words kind of clicked something for Mel. She was able to take it and create this really helpful resource.
Yeah.
And now I feel like the ethical part of it, like with not acknowledging the original author of the poem, is kind of separate from the great ideas that she is perpetuating in terms of allowing people to do what they're going to do and looking at what your control is. You know, where is your responsibility? Where does that end? I still think that that's a really important message. And I also appreciate being able to share that information that Cassie Phillips wrote the poem originally. And then so people can know that and then take what they need from the rest of it.
How fitting that you should be the guest when I, like, today decide to start listening to this book, and I'm just like, it's clicking for me, and I've not read this poem. I'm going to read the poem. I did notice a few people would have a tattoo that said let them, and I'm one of these weirdos that if there's a trend, I'm going to avoid it like the plague.
I feel that. I feel that.
Do you? I don't know why that's about, but I like being authentic. I don't like following the herd. I'm kind of a loner girl, and I know when I know things. I know when things are going to be popular. I've always been kind of like that. Like, I'll be like, oh, this is going to be a fad, and then I just turn around and walk away. Like, oh. Can you, I know, I want to know what psychotherapy means. Like, what is that practice about? And what did you do for your schooling for that? I'm just curious.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a few terms that people sometimes use interchangeably. And it's interesting because in British Columbia, we don't have a standard provincially in terms of therapy. So a person can claim to offer therapy and counseling without having gone through the same rigor that some other provinces and like the United States have, boards and licensing exams and stuff like that. So it's a little bit treacherous in BC in terms of the terminology and stuff like that. But psychotherapy for me is depth work. So it's not brief solution focused. We're going to get you in and out of the therapy office in 6 weeks. Like it's more in depth. It's really looking at the core, the root of things. And being able to kind of acknowledge like what served you to this point, what's not serving you any longer. How can we really understand that today in order to unravel the parts that are like knotted up? And so for me, I went to school. I have my master's degree in clinical mental health counseling with a concentration in working with veterans and their families. And so I have several trauma-informed and trauma-attuned certificates and extra kind of education in that way. So trauma has always been my go-to. I'm also part of the British Columbia Association of Clinical Counselors, which is one of the only really rigorous, it's as close as you can get to a license for therapy in BC. And so I am an RCC, or registered clinical counselor. I saw that.
Yeah.
So that's what that means there. There's a couple other acronym sort of things, but it's pretty tricky because there are some that you just basically like pay for and they give it to you, and you don't have to prove that you went to school and went to an accredited school and stuff like that. Like I had to send them my CV. I had to send them my transcripts from school and everything like that. Prove that I did all these things, prove that I worked for a certain amount of hours and had supervision and all that kind of stuff. So being a psychotherapist is an honor. And I think it's like a really beautiful thing. And I know that BC is working towards having a little bit more clear standards in terms of that, like provincially, which will be really exciting for the field to make sure that the clients are getting the best level of care as they can.
Yes. Yeah, this is a kind of a tricky conversation for you and I to have. Like, I took my clinical hypnotherapy. Mm-hmm. It was university accredited. And I often find like other hypnotherapists don't quite understand, like this was a 6-month course where I spent a week once a month in classroom with my instructor for a 6-month process. And then after, so I feel like I am definitely, and we're very frustrated because we feel like with that accreditation, I feel like I would like to be more recognized because I went and did it the proper way. But I think I'm going to have to like pursue the clinical counseling I'm going to be navigating these treacherous waters, Rebecca, and I'm worried that I'm going to encounter a little bit of snobbiness, or if I encounter anything where they say, I don't want you doing this in order for you to have this, I feel like there's going to be some stuff. And so I'm very nervous. I got knots in my stomach. I'm not sure where I'm going to go, but I would really like to have some sort of proper British Columbia. And I'm not going to go just get a title because I'm getting a title. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a scary thing, because I take it very seriously. You're dealing with people's brains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And that's kind of a huge point of contention, especially in a place like BC where things aren't quite as regulated. It's really tough because you have people who can just hang a sign on their door and say that they are a counselor or a therapist, and they have a 6-month certification or less than that, or they, all that kind of stuff. And it's really tough because at the end of the day, clients and participants are looking for help. And I feel like it's not fair to them to have to know the difference between an RTC or an RCC, because it probably looks the same. You've got numbers and letters after your name, it's good to go. But realistically, there are some certifications or boards out there that are not as rigorous. And that's a pretty sketchy arena to be in.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see where I go with it, because I do feel like I really do enjoy the work, but I feel like there needs to be some kind of provincial, I don't know. I was a realtor and took all the licensing, and you have people that you are accountable to that are watching oversight, right? And I feel like I would like to be able to be under that kind of a canopy as well, and feel like,
right.
But I also want to be respected. So I don't know. I'm going to be very careful going through it. I mean, we can have that conversation later too, because I'm sure you can help me out with that. I don't want to go to school for 9 years. That's my thing.
I don't blame you. It's a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so much amazing stuff that a person can do without that, that standard education. And I think that things are kind of opening up a lot. Personally, I consider myself a holistic therapist. And I integrate things that are quote unquote alternative, but I use them in ethical ways.
I love that.
I can connect pretty much every alternative thing to an ethical, evidence-based practice. And that's super important for me, because that, makes a difference between, me just throwing my rule book and handbook out the window that I've curated over my education and my experience. I'm not throwing it away. I'm using it in a way that's more connectable with clients. And I love the clients that come in and they're like, you're going to think I'm weird, but I did a tarot poll this weekend. I'm like, no, please tell me about the cards. Let's talk about it. I want those kind of clients to come through, because I don't think that they make sense to separate entirely. It just doesn't make sense to me, because we are a holistic being. We are not just a body separate from a brain, separate from a soul, separate from whatever. We are an integrated being, and your physical is connected with all of the other parts of you. The cognitive, the emotional, everything is all interconnected. So it's kind of a disservice to me to kind of throw away any part of that. Yes.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. I'm just starting to understand what this holistic term really means.
Yeah. It's full integration of everything. Consider everything.
But you said you're not taking patients or any clients right now.
For psychotherapy, I'm not. I will in the future. Just right now, I need that. That takes a lot of energy for me.
Okay.
And so I really need it right now to kind of set up a structure and a schema that's going to really be able to be sustainable. Because it hasn't been really. I've just been kind of fumbling around it
Aw,
feels like.
yeah.
And I'm like, well, in order for this to work out in the long term, I really need to take this step back and give the structure a little bit of love,
Okay.
to be able to build off of it.
Well, will you let us know when things have changed and you've kind of got a really clear path ahead of what it looks like? And
Yeah.
I'd love to have you back on and really explain, all the different services that you're going to be offering. And
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, basically, my offerings are pretty fluid. If anybody has an interest in either distance Reiki work, dream exploration, oracle readings, that kind of stuff, they can feel free to send me an email or DM me on socials. And then I'm also going to be part of a few, the
yeah.
summit coming up. And I'm going to be hosting a workshop in November, early November, and it's going to be all about liminal spaces. And I thought that was really fitting, in terms of like the dates and times and that kind of thing. And so that'll be like a mental health but spiritual workshop. So I don't have all the details ironed out for that just yet, but the intention is to really learn how to embrace those liminal spaces and figure out how we can really embrace them for change, to really kind of walk into the next part of our lives, in a really well-informed way, and one that's really authentic to ourselves, because we've given ourselves that space to think and to feel into what's going on for us.
Well, I just wanted to say, like, let us know as when these events are like cemented in, and just send me a quick Facebook message or whatever. Sorry, I got a tickle, so that we can let our listeners know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll do that for sure. I'll definitely give you, like a calendar and information that way, so you can kind of see what's going on for me in the future. And I was a little nervous, kind of speaking to your point about not being sure what something's going to look like. I was like, oh no, Claudette's going to ask me what I'm offering, and I'm kind of like in a weird transition period. But I feel like it's important to kind of like walk the walk instead of avoid. Instead of
Yes.
avoiding coming on here and talking with you today, which is a great opportunity and I'm so grateful for. I wanted to be able to, share what needs to be shared at this point, and do it unprepared, do it scared, all those kind of
I
things.
love this. This is my life. I think that's how you live authentically. I'm so glad, Rebecca. I love what you just said, because I remember very early on when I opened my shop, there was one prominent person in the community, and I was living by the seat of my pants. Like, every day was not planned. I was just flowing with it as intuitively I felt like I needed to do. And she was like, "You don't know what you're doing." And I thought, "They do." But it was just so crazy to me that for her, I didn't like it was just chaos to her. Like, she didn't understand it, it was I just no. I embrace people that are fluidly moving with the energy wherever it takes them, and because that's how we allow things to really take root that need to take root.
Yeah. I mean, our expectations can hinder us just as much as spark and
Yes.
excitement. Because if
Yes.
we have this expectation of what everything is going to look like, and as soon as it deviates a little bit, we start getting disappointed and upset, nervous, whatever the case is. But the less you hold really tightly to that expectation and just kind of allow it some flexibility, I've found personally that I end up being so much happier because
Yeah.
I'm open to opportunities. I'm open to these things that I otherwise wouldn't have even been able to see because I would have had blinders on with just this one focus. And now I'm able to kind of see a lot more things that are coming my way. And I don't have to understand all of it, just like you've, not had to understand all of it. And sometimes you understand only in hindsight and you go, oh, that's why this happened for me. Oh, that's why this changed, or that's why this opportunity slipped through my fingers, because something better is coming. And just having that like really strong faith that things are always conspiring for your highest good.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Has been like such a release of anxiety for me.
There you go. That comes full circle to what we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely, that is so true for me too. I feel like the stress is gone because I don't own whatever's happening here.
Right?
I'm not creating it. They're creating it. So I'm just here as a spectator and say, yes, okay, yeah, okay, we'll do this. So yeah. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for joining us. I've already, we've gone over the half hour I said, but I know. So I want to be respectful. Let me look. Did I ask all my questions? I did. So is there like a link that is just for the summit, or because what I did is I had a link that is like going to the doctor's page.
Okay, yeah, to Sally's page. Yeah, I can send you the link to the Wholehearted Wellness Summit for sure.
You know what? Could you put it in the comments?
I could.
Yes, and then everybody has it there and it'll be there forever. And then I will also put it in the show notes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be wonderful. And does anybody have any questions before we say goodbye to Rebecca? This would be the time to put, or a nice comment. Rebecca loves nice comments. I love nice comments. I think everybody was listening. Like, it's very quiet in the chat room. Normally there's a lot of buzzing going back and forth.
Maybe I put them to sleep. We don't know.
Well, you sure didn't put me to sleep. I think everyone was listening.
All right. I think, well, this goes to you. Oh, I can actually put it in the actual comments. Hold on.
Yes.
This is my first time using this platform. So I am...
You should be able to just do it in the post a comment.
Well, it is asking me to sign into YouTube.
Okay, well, I got it here. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to highlight all of this. Command C. I'm going to put it in for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh, for sure. There we go. You're in.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well,
that's perfect because then it goes across all the platforms that you're streaming
right?
on. This is amazing. Technology.
I know.
This is part of why I've needed to take a step back because technology is just like not my friend. So it takes a lot to figure all these things out. So kudos to you for having it under wraps.
I do not have it under wraps. I look slick today because every other guest we've ever had, it's not worked, the audio.
It's interesting how things work out certain ways.
I know.
I'm grateful to be the person that it's worked for so far. And I look forward to hearing, future guests and everything. Now that we've unlocked this.
Yes.
Let's do it. And
anytime you want to come on, I'm happy to have you on. It's always Wednesday, so you can just send me a message and be preemptive and say, Claudette, what does this Wednesday look like for you? I wouldn't mind coming on. I've got some stuff I'd like to share. We would love
awesome.
that.
Thank you. I appreciate that open invitation.
Heather says, I just found the comment section and I love all the info you are sharing. So exactly. That's what this is about, right? It empowers us. It opens our minds to other possibilities and interests. I hope you'll go check out Rebecca's event that she's participating in. We've got the links there. They'll also be again put in the show notes so that if you want to go look on the YouTube channel in the comment section, it'll be there as well. Thank you again, Rebecca, and I look forward to another chat at some time.
Yes. Thank you so much, Claudette, and enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone.
Thank you. Well, that was fun. Let me take these off. Wow. I'm so happy that worked out, and I'm excited because this is giving me the confidence to invite other people that I've wanted to have on to have like interviews with and just get information. So you're with me as I learn all of this. What do you think? Was that fun? Heather, I really appreciate you chiming in and letting us know. I know I found it really interesting. I love talking about how we can have better lives. Like, how do we spot those areas where maybe we're restricting ourselves without even knowing, right? You're welcome, B. It was amazing, right? She's just such a nice lady, Rebecca. Okay, so what are we going to do? I think we need to go. I think I did weather. Well, we didn't really talk about the weather. We don't always have to talk about the weather, I guess. Although people said it was really warm. Like when they came in, some of them were saying that they were sweating. But I can see that it's going to go down to like 3 degrees tonight. So it's like 14 during the day and then down to 3 degrees. So the days are getting cooler, but it is beautiful. We're getting such a beautiful fall. I don't have too much here for birthdays. I just want to see. I did this one, so we can get rid of that. Did this one. Yeah. Well, I guess for Blake, we better play the happy birthday song. So I guess I got to get these headphones back on. And let's go into our fun music. And I'm just going to turn this down lower because we want to be able to hear me talk as well. Here's the grand happy birthday music. I have birthday wishes too. Today to my cousin Vivian. We were very close growing up, so I wanted to extend to her a happy birthday. Also, guess whose birthday it is today? Lou Curiata. Many of you will know her. She is the owner and creator of Create Dynamic Health. She calls herself the catalyst for change, remover of emotional blocks, and life changer. And without a doubt, she's changed many lives. I'm going to be saying, I believe she lives in Calgary, but she does come and at the House of Healing, I've seen she'll advertise, and she comes to Dawson Creek still to see people and offer her services. And I'll be putting a link in for Lou just as a birthday gift in our show notes for anyone who's curious and wants to check out Lou. Happy birthday, Lou. On the 25th, my friend Sally Mekanin, she's going to be celebrating a birthday. On the 26th, Leanne Marion. So for anyone who knows Leanne Marion, be sure to wish her a happy birthday on the 26th. And our friend Tom Moran, his birthday's on the 27th, coming up. He used to work for Remax forever and a day. Well, actually, that company was reincarnated a few times. He's probably worn more than one identity as a realtor. But he's retired now, which was news to me. David and I was just snooping and looking at everybody's birthdays on my list, and then I said, oh, he's retired. I hadn't seen much from him, so I can see why now. He's retired. So enjoy your retirement, Tom. Well deserved. So that's that. What do you think? Do you want to know your signs? Let's look at our astrology. I'm going to move my keyboard out of the way because we don't need it. And I just want to see here, September 24th to the 1st. Let's see what we're and then guess what? I think, next week is the 1st. So Wednesday will be the very 1st of October, which means we're going to do our astrology on October 1st. Now, let's see. 24 to the 1st. I just got to repeat to myself. Aries, you got a couple of rough days coming up. The 29th and the 30th. Make sure you take time to be on your own. There's things that you need to think about. You're going to feel like you're really harried on the 29th and the 30th. And see, this is why I wear my headphones. Blake's favorite music is still playing. There we go. I can take these off. When you have these on, it just feels like you're like in a tunnel or something. It doesn't sound like it's a tunnel, but it's just, I don't know, it's hard to explain. So it feels really nice to have these off. And let's see else here. 24 to the 1st. I have to keep repeating myself here. I'm looking to see any other signs that we need to give you an alert. Oh, Cancer. You're about hitting the jackpot, Cancer. 24th, 25th, 26th. You got 3 good days coming up. Wow. Okay. So these are your high energy days, they're saying. Enjoy them. The things that you've been struggling to get finished, you're going to get it done. These are your good days, 24th, 25th, 26th. So you're going to be able to finish up a bunch of stuff that you just feel like, oh my God, I don't have it in me anymore. You do. You're going to have it. Enjoy. Leo, on the 28th, you've got a good day coming up. This is going to be, you're going to be just so proud of yourself. You're going to be making really good food choices on the 28th and the 27th. For you right now, this month has been all about your diet and what you're taking in. I just want to encourage you to really be noticing what ideas are coming into your mind or strategies towards eating healthier. I think that you're on to something. So pay attention, because on the 27th and 28th, those are going to be some really good positive days for you to just make things even more healthy for yourself. Virgo, you've got the 29th and the 30th coming up, so in a few more days. But this is a really good time for you you're going to really get an insight into what's going on for your future. You're going to see some opening up of like, oh my gosh, that makes sense. Now I know where I've been heading to for like a while. Like I just didn't have a clear path, but you're going to see some glimmers of what it is that you've been working towards, Virgo. So good for you. I'm skimming through to find 20. Nope. So we jumped down to Aquarius. Sorry, Aquarius. Yikes. 24, which was today. 25 and 26 are some rough days for you. It sounds like these are the days when, like I say, my mom told me I should stay in my room until I have something nice to say. You're going to find these days very challenging. And I just want to encourage you to try to just maybe think of that, what we were talking about earlier today. Let them. Don't take these things to heart. You're going to feel really like everything is affecting you and it's ticking you off. So really keep your mouth in check. Pisces, you've got a couple of more demanding days coming up, the 27th and the 28th. So these are going to be days where you feel like you're overwhelmed and you're having a hard time fitting everything in. And there are new things that you want to bring into your life. So I'm just encouraging you to know that this won't always be like this. You've got a couple of days where everything's going to be like coming at you from all directions. And you're like, how do I fit it all in? But it's going to taper off. And then on the 29th, things will start to just naturally start to fall into place. I almost see it like when you're looking at cracks and in a solid object, but there's cracks and you were to pour a liquid and then you see that liquid starting, instead of pooling all at the top, it's going to start to find its way and it's going to go in and integrate into your life smoothly. So there we go. We've got everybody read and up to date for that final week. And then after that, we're moving into the month of October and it'll be Libra. Oh, I saw the picture. You guys get to see it next week. There's got to be perks for me here. What else do we got going on? So we've done zodiacs, weekly code. Yeah, I still have to decide what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into banners here so I can put the weekly code up there. Where is it? Special show. Here we go. So this week, until the 1st of October, if you come into the store and you say Journey Starbound 9, you're going to get a special surprise. That's right. You just need to quote Journey Starbound 9, and it's showing right down below on the moving ticker words down there. I'll leave it up there for a little bit so you can write it down or take a screenshot of it. Journey Starbound 9. Remember that when you come in the next time, and you'll have a nice surprise. And I need to make sure that I remember, because some of you do come in religiously with these codes, so I got to be careful. All right. So I just wrote that down so I don't forget. Weekly code's done. Dear Claudette Letters. Well, my mailbox was empty. I do admit that I did not check my emails, so I apologize if someone... Oh, we're interrupted for a very important message. B's grandson's birthday was today. B, I don't know what his name is, but we want to wish him a happy birthday. If I get his name in the comments, I'll say it again, and I'll say it with his name. I do remember seeing posts. Gosh, I got to get better at, getting all of the information. I take screenshots of a lot of things so that when it comes time to getting ready for the show, I've got all these things that I need to put together and I won't forget anything. So, dear Claudette Letters, if you didn't know, you can send me a letter. Yes, dear Claudette Letters. And these letters are you can write about anything. Ask me any questions. Is there something you want to talk about? And we'll read it online. It can be anonymous. You don't have to put your name on it. And I'll be happy to address your letter. And I've got a mailing address that you can send your letters to, so I'll leave that up there for just a bit for anyone. A quick trick is just if you're on your phones, you can click it, and then you'll have it saved. For anyone listening, you can mail your letters to 10304, 10th Street, 10th Street, Dawson Creek, and it's just like the show, Dawson Creek, Dawson Creek, BC, British Columbia, V as in Victor, 1G as in George, 3T6. 3T6. Yeah, so love to get letters. That would be very exciting and fun to talk about on the show. We did that. Next week, we've already talked about the next week's show. We're going to be doing the zodiac signs, so I'm excited about that for the next week. Guys, let's see. There's so much going on. There's been so much going on. I don't want to forget. I think I just threw away my cheat sheet. Oh, yeah, no. Okay, I'm going to share my screen because I have something I want to show you. Here we go. Share screen. Instagram. There. I want to show you this. Look at this. The Royal Canadian Mint has released the 2025 coin. It's called the Tree of Life. I think that's superb. I would mind getting my hands on one of those. Interesting how some of the roots seem a little bit darker in the weaving there. But yeah, let's see if there's a story here. A powerful, enduring motif found in many cultures around the world. The Tree of Life is both beautifully rendered and selectively gold-plated on this half-ounce 99.99% pure silver coin, where it symbolizes the cyclical nature and the interconnectedness of all living things. In nature, the parts of the tree may be different from one another, but all are essential, each contributing to the whole in its own unique way. And on this coin, the curling branches and the silvery leaves are just as vital to this golden tree as the roots that ground it. Celebrate strength and connection through this tree of life. Well, that's beautiful. Very cool. So yeah, I'll have a link if you're interested in that. That would make a really good gift for someone, I think. Tristan. Okay. Oh yeah, that's great, B. Journey Starbound 9. You put it in there. That's a good idea. I should do. Well, part of the reason why I don't put it in the comments is because someone who doesn't watch the show could look, right? You kind of want this to be just for us that are listening. Yeah, I don't know. But hey, let them. Happy birthday, Tristan. I'm giving you a proper happy birthday from Grandma. Okay, here we go. What else do we have? I wanted to share that. Oh, yeah. There's so much going on. I'm going to also do another screen share. So go over here because I wanted to show you there's something new coming that's already in the works. Share screen. I think, would it be here? No, I don't see it there. Man, I have such a tickle. I'm going to share this one. I hope it's the right one. Well, this one is important too. Look at this. Software Emporium, guys. I just want to give a shout out to my neighbor. They're going to be celebrating 30 years of business. It's a 30-year anniversary. Starting at 11 o'clock on September 27th, there's going to be like a big barbecue. They've got raffles. They're asking everybody to come in and just come on in and enjoy the festivities. They're also gathering donations at the barbecue, and they'll be going towards the Dawson Creek Society for Community Living. So 3 more days. They're very excited. Appreciation barbecue at 11, and they're going to have a raffle draw at 2 p.m. for some drones and whatnot. So check that out. Software Emporium. Congratulations on 30 years. Also, I want to go in here because I had another screen that I wanted to share. Share screen. So it must be this one. Share. You get to see. Well, I'm going to just pop in here and drag it up for you guys because it is kind of an important one. Oops. Amanda. Here we go. Because there's a new center being opened up. I'm just going to scroll through till I get to... Yeah, why not pick this one here? Urban Luxe Escape. I thought I opened a window for this, but I guess I didn't. So there is a new center opening up, and it's not very far from where I'm at. It's in the old insurance building. Go have a look on Facebook. Make sure you give a follow. Urban Luxe Escape. There's going to be many different modalities in there. It says here, Urban Luxe Escape is your Dawson Creek wellness destination, offering massage, Reiki, cranial sacral therapy, Pilates, and yoga. It's a space to relax, recharge, realign your body, mind, and spirit. So I just want to check here because I'm not sure if they're open. Pilates, best part, we're opening it up for rentals. Also, you'll also be able to use the space for your own events. So if you're a movement instructor, facilitator, or wellness professional, I think there's even room for some more tenancies in there, like some tenants. So yeah, go check it out. Go support. I'm going to just get out of here. And again, as usual, I'll make sure the links are there for you to go and check that out. All right. I think, what do we got coming up? Spirit and Soul Awakening, Metaphysical Fair. That is with Yvonne with the Healing Hub, October 24th and 25th. That's coming up next month, guys. Your Global Psychedelic Week, November 3rd through the 9th. That's an online format. You do need tickets to participate. Supporting my niece, Victoria Wishner, and her partner, Joel Briere, co-founders and CEOs of 5. So what else do we got here? October 3rd to the 3rd through the 5th is coming up. That's another online event, Spectral Evidence, Festival of the Dead. It's taking place in Salem, Massachusetts. So there's that. And of course, what we were just discussing with Rebecca, Wholehearted Wellness Summit. That's an online platform. And in the comments, we had the link there for you to check out. That's going to be taking place very shortly, October 3rd through the 4th. And we've got Teresa Caputa coming October 8th. We're excited about that in Grand Prairie at the Bonnet Energy Center. So I think that many of you went to the Silver Cove Rock and Jam. I tried to go. I didn't make it. But you know what? Life has a funny way of working out exactly the way it needs to work out. So it turns out that my crystal dealer from Vancouver was coming through town. So I needed all of my moolah that I could muster to pay for all of the crystals and the new jewelry that I bought. I'm very excited for everybody. Like I was saying to Blake, there's some really stunning men rings. And we've got beautiful women rings and lots of bracelets and such high quality. Like this is not like I'm not sure where it came from, China, or like when I buy from my Vancouver gentleman, as you all saw, the ones that participated and came to Crossroads, this is like very ethically sourced and high quality crystals that they're offering. So I'm very excited. I got some huge chunks of tourmaline I was just so excited to get. And the prices, you just can't beat them. They're incredibly reasonable. So I'm going to be working on that. I just finished another order and getting it all out. So there aren't any crystals out today, but in the next couple of days I'll start working my way through all of that stock. So every day you come in, it could be something different. I see it's 9:04, so I'm going to love you and leave you. We're going to play my favorite song. Thank you for joining me for another Wednesday. I absolutely loved it. I love the conversation. And I can't wait to see you next Wednesday when we go over everyone's sun signs. That'll be fun. And hear all about how your week went. Everyone, remember, let them. And I just want to encourage you all to know that you are just as important as the person beside you, according to Creator. All right, let's get some beautiful music going here. And see you next week.
Sometimes it's hard to find a reason why, when everything is falling and all that's left to do is try your best to keep holding on to the next sunrise. But you're stronger than you know. You'll never be alone when everything feels dark around. Just look inside where light is found. Sometimes a mountain means it's time to climb higher than you've been before. close your eyes. You'll make it faster than you know. Closer to the sunrise. 'Cause you're stronger than you know. You'll never be alone. When everything feels dark around, just look inside where light is found. Where the light is found. Where the light is found. Where the light is found. Just look inside where light is found. You're stronger than you know. You'll never be alone. When everything feels dark around, just look inside where light is found.